Hello everyone, welcome back to Vibing with Stay Grayy. I'm your host, Lara Marie, and I'm so psyched up for this year. As I should tell you all, Happy New Year, because this is our first interaction. I haven't released an episode in a minute, and I do hope that you'll get to learn from me and from the guests that I have in store for you this year. So on today's episode, I'd like to talk about scarcity mentality. I mean, we've started a new year, right? And we're almost approaching March. And most of you all have set up goals. Most of you have vision boards, and all of you are psyched up for what you can do to elevate yourself for this year. But there's this thing that I've come to learn of called scarcity mentality. Okay, you might be thinking of how you want to elevate yourself financially, physically, mentally, but then you have that scarcity mentality that you can't do it. So in this episode, we'd like to focus on that, and that's why we are all on educating, inspiring, and transforming your life. So stay tuned for what we have in store for you. So today we have a really engaging guest that's going to take us through the scarcity mentality and all the things that it entails. I'm sure you're going to learn from her because I loved her, the side that I saw, what she's doing and how she's empowering people, and also through her work. So welcome, Kushali Vasani, to Vibing with Stay Grayy. I'm really humbled that you agreed to come to the podcast. And yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself to our guests today, and so that we can carry on with the conversation.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Kushali Mavji Varsani. I'm a clinical psychologist. Recently graduated from my master's from the UK, but I started KMB Mental Health Services in, I want to say, October as a method of mental health information spread, because my number one mission when I came to Kenya was let's just reduce mental health stigma. And that happened through information sharing. And quite recently, we've started providing psychotherapy services as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's really impressive. And for all those people that want to be psychologists or psychiatrics, I don't know if I spelled that right, but whatever, you know what I mean. I hope that you'll learn from her, and this is going to be an engaging experience for you. So Kushali, I wanted you to take us through the scarcity mentality and all the things that it entails, not all, but most of it, because I know it's a large topic. Things like inferiority complex, low self-esteem. Yeah, those are some of the things that deter people from getting whatever they want, because some people, as I said, have set up vision boards and they have goals, but they're like, okay, how can I do this? I don't have the resources. I'm not pretty enough for this. These people usually pick people of this caliber. I'm not ready for this. You know, that kind of talk that people always have in their minds, that telling them that they can't do it. You don't have it all. You don't have the resources. You don't have the connections. But now in this episode, we want to focus on how we can evict it. So, or rather, just try to manage it so that we can at least have a forward momentum. So what can you tell us about inferiority complex?
Inferiority complex, in the most simple terms, is feeling like you're never good enough. It's that where you walk into a room and you feel inferior to everyone. You feel that everyone is above you. You feel like, you know, in every manner, whether it's personality, it's looks, it's jobs. Most of the inferiority complex I've encountered, it's mostly in terms of goals and jobs. I haven't seen inferiority complex in terms of looks. For that, I think we classify it as low self-esteem or body dysmorphia. But in terms of inferiority complex, I would say it's just feeling like you don't have what it takes.
Okay, and if we do feel that we don't have what it takes, how can we help ourselves to feel like, you know, like gassing yourself up? Yeah, it might be true that I don't have the enough resources to start a business, but sure enough, I can start from somewhere. But so how can I skip from that mentality that I'm always keeping myself down? I feel like other people have it all. I just feel ashamed of myself, and I want to just get to manage that, because probably I'm in a journey to transformation. I just want my mental health to be in check so that my business can boom through that transformation.
Yeah.
So how can I just start having that? It's not just superiority complex, but just being confident that even though I don't have it now, even though I'm feeling inferior, probably can learn something from this person that I feel that is so big, giant to me. How can we do that?
I think the first thing, in order to be able to do that, the first thing we need to understand is it's not just your inferiority complex that's at part. Like with anything with mental health, there's always other things going on. Like you mentioned earlier, there's low self-esteem as well. So when it comes to an inferiority complex, you have to figure out where it's coming from. Is it coming from low self-esteem? Is it coming because you're comparing yourself to other people a lot more than you should be?
Yeah.
Is it because you're seeing maybe your friends do better than you are? Or you're seeing other people, who've had better chances? Because it is normal, 100%, Even in my life, I've seen like individuals that have had the same opportunities as I have do way better and much better in life. I think the first thing you could do is identify, is it coming from low self-esteem or is it coming because you're comparing yourselves to other people more than you should be?
Okay, so what does low self-esteem actually mean? So for someone who's new to this.
So self-esteem is how you deem yourself. It's how you look at yourself. Low self-esteem is when you look at yourself negatively to the point that it's impacting what you're doing in your day-to-day lives. Because what individuals, I don't think they understand, is that everyone has low self-esteem days. But the issue with low self-esteem then comes into play when, for example, I have a job interview and I don't want to do it because I don't feel good enough. So, when my self-esteem starts impacting my life choices, that's when I know I have really bad low self-esteem.
Oh, okay. And to others, as you have said, you mentioned about body dysmorphia, that it might be either from low self-esteem or body dysmorphia. Can you talk more about that?
About body dysmorphia?
Yeah.
In terms of feeling inferior with your looks, body dysmorphia is, and I love talking about this because God knows us girls, we go through it.
A lot.
But, shockingly, men as well go through body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is basically, for example, if you look at yourself in a mirror and you weigh yourself. Okay, so for example, if I weigh myself and I'm like 65 kilos right now, but then I eat something really salty, I step on the scale, and obviously the water retention is making me add more weight.
Yeah.
So I said 65 kilos, right? So I step on the scale and now I'm weighing 67. Before eating, I would look at myself in the mirror and see, wow, she is skinny, she's perfect, she's beautiful. But as soon as I've eaten, and because I can see a bit of stomach popping out, or when I wear a bra, you can have those little rolls and you see them coming out more, that's body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is basically seeing and looking at your body in different manners that are more negative than positive. Yeah.
And have you ever undergone any form of body dysmorphia, or has it ever affected you?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing that?
Yeah. So, growing up in Kenya, while it was pretty, because, I've always had people tell me that big women are beautiful. But then now, because I'm Indian, it's skinny women are beautiful. So that body dysmorphia comes in where I've had friends who are from Italy, but they were born and raised in Kenya. And like, I was studying with them and they're like, you're so beautiful. You look so good. Like, you look healthy. You look good. Now, when you go to, like, for example, Indian functions and you're being told, wear long sleeves, you have big arms, or cover your stomach, you're not supposed to show your stomach unless it's flat. And so things like that really affected what I was eating, how I was presenting myself, what I was wearing. Girls at my age were wearing like crop tops and like mini skirts, where I was wearing like, like those really tacky outfits with like the stockings. And I was like wearing more layers.
So that it doesn't show off how your body moves.
Yeah, I was taught how to sit. I was taught how to pose. I was taught how to, I was Googling 24/7 how to make sure my double chin doesn't show. There's some facial exercises. That's all I know. But just things like that. And with body dysmorphia, it sometimes goes hand in hand. Another example I can give you is maybe when I started working out. I'm not a gym girl. Disclaimer, not a gym girl. But when I did try to become one, I noticed that my body dysmorphia was increasing because I used to like take protein, I used to take creatine, I used to start working out, and I was working out for, I think, like I said, not a gym girl. I'd rather be at KFC than a gym. Honest. But when I used to go to the gym, I realized that for those 3 months, I was so happy with my body.
Oh, because
I was happy
losing weight.
because I was losing weight. But you couldn't see it. But mentally, I saw. When I used to step on the scale, there used to be no change in my weight. But because I was working out, and like I've been told, if you work out, you're pretty.
Yeah.
So when I used to work out, I wasn't even losing weight.
Oh, you're not seeing any change.
I wasn't seeing any change, but mentally, my body dysmorphia was telling me, you're working out. Look at the girl with the abs. You know? Yeah.
Okay, and for many people actually have that issue. And many of us have been body shamed and are still being body shamed and have troubles when they enter social media and see this certain person that has this certain figure. Okay, you're like, what does it take for me to look like that? How can I look like that? So that brings me to feelings of hate, and you just despise yourself.
Yeah.
That you can't be that, like that certain girl. You just can't wear some certain types of clothes because of your body figure. And that has been affecting a lot of people at a point of they're starving themselves, or they're just eating a lot so that they can gain weight and feel validated. Because we usually, as you said, girls usually go through it a lot. Usually feel like, okay, if I'm a certain body shape, actually I googled once the types of body shapes, and I saw rectangle, oval, and inverted triangle.
Oh, so yes, the inverted triangle is my favorite.
So I was like, okay, like, yeah, these people are trying to empower these types of figures because they're actually showing you how to dress for your body shape. Yeah. But now some people are dying to have that killer figure. So when you can't get it, you feel like, no, I hate myself. I don't want to see myself. Yeah. Some things start, they just stop working for you. Because maybe you want to be a model. But then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, no, I hate my body. So you just start, like I said, you may start binge eating, or you may start starving yourself so that you can have that certain figure. Yeah. So how can you just tell that person, to encourage that person, in other words, to stop doing that and to love themselves as they are? Because it's easier said than done. Yeah. 100% easier said than done. Yeah, because people are usually like, love yourself, love your body, but damn, it's not that easy to look myself in the mirror and say that you are pretty, you are worthy, you can get this and that. Many people are suffering from that. So how can you, like, just a little bit of advice? Just a little bit of advice. Yes. The little bit of advice I will tell you is society is quote unquote, I can't use harsh language. Society is really toxic. What I would say in terms of this is, have you noticed, and this is just my advice because I struggled with eating disorders, I've struggled with body dysmorphia, and till to date I am not comfortable within myself. I will be one day, and I am at some times, but I'm not every day. But one thing I would say first, before I continue with this advice, is you're not supposed to be comfortable with who you are 24/7. If you're comfortable with who you are 24/7, then how do you know you need to change? Oh, yeah. Okay. The second thing I'll tell you is toxic society is disgusting. I remember having a conversation with a friend about this. Do you remember when, like, Kylie? Have you watched the Kardashians? I used to, but I stopped. Did you notice that when the Kardashians all started getting their quote unquote thick bodies, slim waist, thick can I say ass? Yeah. Yeah. And
huge bust. That's what everyone wanted.
Yeah, that's what
Till people were
everyone
going to get surgeries and what do you call the
Yeah.
liposuction and fillers and
Oh,
BBL. You know when
liposuction.
BBL was a trend? And now that they're dissolving their figures to become more slim, everyone's following that trend.
Oh yeah, everyone is a follower.
Yeah, back in I want to say this like the 70s or the 60s, big women were worshipped. And then we moved to an era where smaller women were worshipped. That's the ideal size. And then we went from really skinny to really big. And now we're glorifying obesity, which I I'm just there like, okay. But realistically, society has its trends. That's what social media is, it's trends. They will see one girl showing like a bit of stomach and they're like, hashtag body positivity.
Yeah.
And I'm just there like, okay. Okay. But the one advice I would give you is, it's very hard to give advice, but I would say I know it's really difficult, but don't care. Your body is your body. And the thing with low self-esteem is it's more re-noticing. So individually, I am thinking about it more than another person is noticing it.
Yeah. Because people are actually thinking about themselves
Yeah.
most of the time.
And the one thing I would say is challenge yourself. So do things that make yourself uncomfortable. The one way I kind of started wearing crop tops again is when I was in the UK, I used to do it all the time. Whether I was in my room, whether I was sleeping, I would just put a crop top and shorts and I'll just go to bed. No one's seeing me in it, but I'm challenging my thoughts that I'm going to get comfortable wearing this. And in terms of another piece of advice is just detox your social media. Detox it. If you see that you're going down this path of like comparing yourself to the point that you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well. Oh my God, will this boy like me? Oh my God, I need to be on steroids to have good muscles. You know, boys dysmorphia is actually increasing horribly now because of gym TikToks and boys thinking that they're not good enough because they don't have muscles. So apparently social media is saying forget the skinny guys. We don't want them.
Okay, this is new to me actually. The boy body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I think I've never thought of it. I've just been focusing on female. This shows how toxic I can be sometimes. So can you tell us more about the boy child and the body dysmorphia?
Yeah. One thing I would say is Kenya does not pay attention to boys in mental health. And that's one of the things I've noticed as well, which is also driving my next initiative. Kenya doesn't pay more attention to boys' mental health. They're not thinking about what boys are going through. They're not thinking about like how to take care of boys. You know, it's always female advocacy for females, which I love and I support.
Yeah.
But so what I've noticed, and I had this very interactive Instagram thing on my personal Instagram where I was like, do you think gym is healthy or unhealthy? Now, if I ask you that, do you think gym is healthy or unhealthy for your mental health?
Actually, I'm not a gym person.
Just generally, what they say about exercise.
Okay, it's healthy.
Healthy?
Yeah. Why?
It's healthy to some extent, but it's not healthy in terms of people getting eating disorders. I have met friends that have told me ever since they started their bulking phase, which is, in gym words, it's when you put on and you're eating a lot of extra calories to build up that muscle and then you're like cutting and then you reduce your carbs and you like, don't you think that's somewhat of an eating disorder?
Because you are, as a medic, I would say that you are actually losing some nutrients when you do that.
But what if they're working out just intensely? So if they're eating like, let's just say 6,000 calories and they're working out to burn the calories.
It doesn't make sense and it's unhealthy.
Gym, I'm not saying, and this is a disclaimer, I love gym for everyone that's a gym bro or gym girl that's going to watch this. But what I am saying is gym is creating this need for girls and guys to look a certain way, especially guys.
Oh.
Like they need to have this have you watched the Greek god TikTok thing where guys are like posing like this or something? Yeah. And they have all these muscles and you're just looking and I'm like, okay.
And the abs.
Yeah. And it's fine. Do it. Have fun with it. But also realize what you're doing to your mental health in that fact. Because it's become a routine where I've noticed boys who don't go to the gym for that one day, if they take like a rest day, they can't. They can't.
Oh, it's like they're addicted.
They're going to lose their gains.
Oh.
And it's not because, like, obviously mental health comes from oneself, but exercise in a mindful way that is good for you and your body. Make sure when you're exercising, you're not harming your mental health. A lot of people on my interactive posts said that gym is unhealthy because you end up getting like dismorphia. Body dysmorphia is a mental disorder.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the DSM. It's classified as a disorder.
Okay.
And then, for example, let's just say if you have an eating disorder as a guy where you're just eating very specific meals and that's it for a long period of time. What happens when you stop eating those meals? What do you think is going to happen to your mental health when you slip? Can you imagine someone going to the gym, extensively working on their figure and their physique, and they're like, no, I can't enjoy this piece of cake because I'm going to feel guilty about it for the next 2 weeks. Mm. That's not healthy.
Okay, so you feel like majority of people are doing it because other people are doing it to attain a certain figure.
Yeah.
Rather than I'm doing it for myself because I actually want to work out. I actually want this for myself.
I think it's like 50-50. I think I've met people who are doing it because they want to genuinely be fit, but some people are doing it for the physique and the aesthetic physique, which is fine, but you have to acknowledge what it's doing to your mental health.
Okay.
Yeah. Because have you noticed that we went from men, like even women, I can't lie to you, women kind of put these standards on men as well. The same way they put standards on us. You know, so it's a two-way thing. But for us, do you remember when like girls used to be like, I want the athletic build. I want the guys that are slim with abs and a bit of muscle. Let your veins show in your hands. I was one of them. You know, boys need to be 6'2". They need to be muscular. They need to be this. They need to be that. We're doing to them what they did to us.
And it's actually harmful in their own perspective.
Yeah. Because now we're switching from I want skinny builds to I want muscular dad bods. Have the big arms and the stomach. And then now we're going to I want the abs. I want your, I want your lat spread to look nice.
So, okay.
So now imagine, for example, people who don't get the opportunity to go to the gym, but yet girls are telling them, you're not 6'2".
Yeah, you don't have abs.
You don't have abs. I can't see your veins, so I can't be with you. Sorry. What? That's like exactly telling a girl, you don't have a nice rack. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
And we would get offended, right? Yeah. We would get offended, and I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying that men are going through the same things as well.
Yeah, actually, I did a mental health for men episode once, and I got a guest that actually put it so well. So if you guys would want to go back and watch it, I'll put the link to the episode down below. So yeah, that's on body dysmorphia, and I've actually been educated on how boys are seeing it. Usually I see it in a female perspective. Okay, this is what is happening to me. This is what is happening to my fellow women. But what about boys? And I actually have a brother. So that's making me think, okay, this is how sometimes maybe he's feeling.
Yeah.
Like this one day I was watching a TikTok. There was this boy who was hosting. He said, he was asking girls randomly that, would you date a guy who doesn't have an iPhone? Like randomly to each girl. So like majority of people are like saying, no, I can't date a boy who doesn't have an iPhone. How is he going to like provide for my date? That means that our photos are going to be nasty and ugly, like that perspective. And I was like, what? Who are you people? Like, don't you? Okay, that's like a queer way of thinking, and I should be judging, but that way of thinking like is like so toxic.
Mm.
How can you just focus on materialism? How about what this boy makes you feel? He might be having an iPhone or just something that you materialize on.
Yeah.
But then he's treating you like trash.
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing. You know why? And this is also making. Have you ever heard that complaint where girls are like, I want a more emotional relationship, but yet we're demanding so much of the man? How can you have an emotional relationship when your emotions are going to be based on what he's earning?
So I guess
materialism is also linked to self-esteem. Like, for example, I'm very guilty of it. The iPhone thing is really funny because I have this perspective that I need to have the iPhone. And I'm guilty of it. But it's like, I need to have the iPhone. That's it. I need to have, that's it.
How about the guy? Like,
I wouldn't care less.
Yeah, you wouldn't care,
care less.
Actually, that's what I think. And
yeah.
Okay. So that's on. I'm glad that you have touched on low self-esteem and we dived into the body shaming part. And I'd like to, so on the next segment, I'd like to like talk on more on finances right now. Since like we're talking about scarcity mentality, right? Like you're here right now, you went through school, right now you're doing some initiatives. Like it must have taken a muscle for you to get where you are right now. And actually fixing your mindset that you can really achieve whatever you want to, even when you're in uni, first year. I guess that was a transition. So I want you to talk to us about how it was for you when joining uni for the first time and all the goals that you had in mind and how actually you plan on accomplishing them because you've set the right mindset that you're going to get it. Yeah, either financially or you can dive into your mental health too.
So, I have been very blessed. I would say my parents spoil me. They've never made me feel like I need to sacrifice. Especially the one thing they've always said is, we will pay an arm and a leg for your education. Yeah. But we won't pay an arm and a leg for an iPhone. Like things like that. So they've always helped me prioritize my education. They've always given me every opportunity that I want. If I want to do an online course, they're always there financially. So I wouldn't say that I've struggled financially, personally. Well, I am 23. Yeah. So I think my financial struggles are just about to begin. But prior to that, I'm very grateful. My parents have never made me miss out on anything education-wise. Yeah. In terms of university, it was a competition. It was the pressure. Because I used to always get told your parents are paying so much for school fees and uni fees, but yet you're not accomplishing anything. So that scarcity mentality where you feel like you don't have enough?
Yeah, you don't have enough.
People who have enough also feel like they're not good enough. And they still have that mentality.
Tell me more about that.
So in terms of people that I've met, the most motivated people I've met are the ones that are not financially stable. For example, how do you think these great initiatives, these NGOs, all these started? They started because we saw the need in a community that didn't have enough. And they're sometimes run by people who don't have enough. But in terms of my experience, it was I had enough, but I was too consumed by proving that I'm using it in the right way to enjoy the experience. For university, I think I used to stress my dad out a lot. And I was like, I'm really worried. A lot of people are putting pressure. First, I was diagnosed with ADHD. So all my life I was told you're never going to make it anywhere, first of all. That was the first thing that was always in my mind. No matter what I accomplished, it was like, I'm proving this person wrong. So I use it as a motivator.
It's about just trying to prove yourself to somebody.
But I realized it wasn't really worth it towards the end. But what I am trying to say is whether you have the scarcity mentality or you have the abundance mentality, there's always gonna be that little misstep where you feel, I'm not good enough, I'm not gonna get it. I don't have this, and this. Because, for example, let's just say if I did have $1 million right now and I open my own company, 2 years later, don't you think I'm going to need more?
Yeah, you're going to need more.
And that's scarcity. Scarcity doesn't mean you have to be broke, dead, poor. It's just not having enough because you're seeing other people have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You give kids, and I like using this example. I'm trying to remember it well, so I put it out. You give kids 2 pieces of paper, 2 different kids, same materials, same everything. One will always be better than the other.
Yeah. There's always that possibility. Actually, it always happens. There's always a winner and a loser.
No.
Okay, yes.
Yes, I get that, but they're different people.
Yeah, they're different people.
And so, for example, if I get 2 individuals with scarcity mentality, and one is just a little bit motivated, and I give them, for example, the same pens, same everything, but I take away one of their tools. The one that is motivated will do something. Whereas the one that with scarcity mentality will just sit and feel bad.
Oh yeah, it just relates to how there's some people who have opportunities, but you don't seem to know that you have them, but you have them. It's like it's here.
Yeah.
But for someone will go ahead to find it because it's actually motivated to. So it's all about, I think, diving into self-awareness as we talk about this, because if there's a certain person who said that, they're given 2 pens, 2 people, this person who's motivated feels like, okay, I can do anything. Actually, I'm really good. I can think of something creative and I can do it. But for this other person, will just see, okay, I just have a pen. What else am I going to do with this? This is just the mindset. And it's all about how self-aware you are. It's all within. And I'd like you to take us through that self-awareness, because I feel like it's like the foundation. If I'm aware of myself, if I know myself, actually there's some things, my actions will just depend if I'm going to the positive way or the negative way. If I'm all aware, if I'm aware that, okay, Clara, you have a good opportunity right here. How am I going to use it? How am I going to do it so that I can make it wherever I want to be? Like, it's all about being aware of myself and my surrounding, of what I have and what I can do about it. So talk to us about, in a psychologist's point of view, about self-awareness.
Self-awareness it's not only positive though. Self-awareness is, for me, when I practice, I say self-awareness is negative. Because your positives can always be worked on, but your negatives need work on. So when I tell my clients to be self-aware, I tell them, notice all the negative things you're doing. Notice your negative patterns. The one thing I always tell people is you cannot control what the other person is doing. You cannot control. I am, like, for example, let me just give you an example for the body dysmorphia. I could not control Kylie Jenner looking the way she did. It was nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. I can only control what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm behaving, how I'm acting, and how I'm perceiving things. And perception always changes. So with self-awareness, it's more knowing what is going wrong for you to work on. But it has to be like a mix. So for example, I tell my clients, for every 3 things you note that you want to work on, that you feel like you're lacking, give me 3 things that are positive about you.
Okay.
Self-awareness is being mindful about how you are, where you are, being present in where you are, rather than saying, okay, I'm here, but I need to be there. I need to do this, and this is going to make me feel this.
But how comes, like, a lot of people, when you ask them, do they know who they are? Like, 3/4 of them will say that they don't have a clue who they are.
Because that's a very wrong question to ask.
What's the right question?
The question to ask is, what qualities do you think you have that should interest me? No one will ever know who they are. I always actually hated that question, even in interviews when they tell me, who are you? And I'm like, I'm a female. Because it's very hard to describe. Because, for example, to you, during this interview, for you, I'm clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
But to a friend, when they ask me, who are you? And I'll be like, I'm a fun, loving, caring, can your liver having drinker. Like, something like that. Or and if I meet like my teachers and I'll be like, I'm a clinical psychologist. Why? Because who I am is perception to them.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go and tell my clinical psychology teachers, I'm Kushali and I am a housewife.
It doesn't fit to the. It doesn't fit.
Who you are changes on your perception.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people ask you who you are, you will tell them according to what they are. For example, if you meet the president and he asks you who you are, what are you gonna say? Mental health advocate.
Mental health advocate and a medical student.
Yeah. But that's not your personality. That's not who you are. It's just what you do. It's what you're studying.
Yeah, that's what I'm studying.
So it just comes to things like that. When people normally ask me, who am I now? I just kind of say, don't ask me that question. Ask me what qualities about me do I think I have that would make you, like, that would impress you.
Okay.
Because that's literally what they're asking. Think about it. They're not really asking, who are you, as in like, tell me about your childhood. They're asking you, who are you?
And if it's
relevant to me.
If it's an employer, he'll want you to say that, okay, I'm hardworking, I do this, and this. That's what they want you to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Self-awareness. I think it's a relief that you don't have to know yourself like that fully, that I know myself, that I'm fully aware of myself, because that's one thing that I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
I also have friends that struggle with that too, right? That they don't know themselves, they don't know what they want to do, or they feel lost.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a big world. You have a life. It doesn't have to be that you have to have it all figured out right now at this minute. That, maybe I lost my job, maybe I'm not in school, I have nothing going for me. But as long as you are doing something, those little steps towards what you actually want to do actually can count as something.
Yeah.
So self-awareness, you don't have to badger yourself that I don't know myself, that my friend knows herself so much, that's why she has this, and this. Actually, I think sometimes you just have to relax. I think I need to tell myself like that, because I need to relax.
Yeah.
As much as I'm a mental health advocate, these things, I usually face them too. I'm human, not a robot. Sometimes I feel like, okay, whatever I'm doing, is it leading me to where I want to be? Is this really the course that I want to study?
Yeah.
Am I really good to my friends, or they hate me? Those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, I'm human. They kind of get to me.
Yeah.
But then sitting myself like that, do you do meditation?
I have ADHD, so I've tried, but it doesn't work for me.
Okay, I usually take meditation as maybe I can just stare at the sky while seated. I'm meditating. It doesn't have to be some form of anything extra. Just having that quality time with yourself and internalizing. I usually have a lot of conversations with myself, and I find that I usually answer myself, and I find a solution.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I usually try that, and for you, the audience, you can also try that if you are facing it. And I know you are facing it, as I have said, we're all humans. We usually ask ourselves many questions. If we're in the right path, if you're going to make it, as long as that you have the mentality that I know where I want to be, but I'm here right now. Okay, I'm aware of where I am and where I want to be. So what can I do between that dash? What can I do that can elevate me to be where I am? Even if it takes 10 years. Don't take in that social media crap that, okay, I'm just waking up and I'm a millionaire. I've just woken up and I've gotten married to a rich person. So no, that's not success. Success is the journey, I feel. It's the journey. Even if you're depressed, you have anxiety, you have ADHD, it's the journey. It's the journey that you're going through.
Yeah.
And it will have hurdles, but you just know that it has to happen.
Yeah.
So where were we? On the you're still talking about inferiority complexes. Gotten caught up.
No, it's okay.
Gotten caught up with that. Okay, so yeah, we've talked about body dysmorphia and how it's affecting people, and the scarcity mentality, low self-esteem, and you are diving into self-awareness. That's why I disrupted you a bit. Do you have anything else to add on to that?
To the inferiority complex? The one thing I will say is every aspect of inferiority complex can be linked to low self-esteem. You would not compare yourself to other people if you feel like you're lacking something. You would not want more if you feel like you don't have enough.
Yeah.
You would not change your body if you don't think you're good enough. So I would say with inferiority complex, the thing I would say is everything is low self-esteem. Everything is low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem.
I'm a huge advocate for everything being dialed down to low self-esteem.
Okay, so now educate us on how we can stop that or manage that. Yeah, that low self-esteem, so that it can help us curb this inferiority complex.
Well, the one thing everyone, I think, maybe needs to understand is, like I've said, we're all going to have off days. We're all going to have bad days. No one has perfect mental health. And if you find me someone that does, I will quit my job. I will actually quit my job. I'll give up my degree. I won't really do that. But yeah. So everyone has bad mental health days. Now, what makes it a problem is when bad mental health days affect your lifestyle, your life choices. They're affecting how you're acting and working in day-to-day life. If it's interrupting and disrupting your lifestyle, then it's a problem. So now how to work on low self-esteem, and I normally tell my clients and my friends as well, is take a day to yourself and figure out where it's coming from. Low self-esteem can be managed as easy as, I'm going to get rid of that friend because she is not benefiting me. She's talking horribly about me. She's making me feel like I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not successful enough, this. But if she's verbally saying it to me, I will get rid of her. Now, for example, if I'm seeing her, she hasn't said anything, and I'm seeing her be more successful than I am, and it's hurting me, then it's a me problem, and I have to reflect on it. So figure out where your low self-esteem is coming from. Is it coming from people actually telling you you're not good enough, or making you feel like you're not good enough? Or is it you saying and comparing and making yourself feel like you're not good enough? Once you figure that out, it's going to be pretty easy to understand what you do. I think the couple of things I do tell my clients is, and this is so cliche, but life is realistically very short. When I was in uni suffering from my low self-esteem, I really didn't enjoy it. And now I'm here and I'm like, I miss uni.
Oh, because you
missed an opportunity. So one way you can work on your self-esteem is journal. I journal a lot. Be more mindful. Practice mindfulness, like based yoga. Work on affirmations, telling yourself every day, even if you don't feel it. My psychiatrist used to once tell me, just look in the mirror and yell at yourself. Tell yourself you're beautiful. And realistically, I had friends who thought I was losing my mind, but I was like pointing. If you see me, I was pointing at the mirror. You are beautiful. You are good enough. You are going to get it. Because we are our biggest enemies. No one else can make us feel a certain way except for us. Right? So work on your affirmations, good affirmations, positive affirmations, kind of tell your brain, they trick your brain into thinking, yeah, this girl is right. We're retraining her thoughts. Every time you feel that you want to say something negative about yourself, say 3 things positive about yourself, even if it's in your head. Like, for example, you know how we were like nervous. I told myself 3 positive things in my head before starting. And it works.
It worked.
Because it's like, while I am, maybe let's just say anxious verbally, my self-esteem would be low, right? Because I'd be stuttering. But if I tell myself 3 things, you've made it this far, you've made it this far, you've made it this far. It works. So positive affirmations, journaling, be more mindful. Because when you become mindful, like I said, you become self-aware. So increasing your self-esteem cannot happen from external factors. You cannot go have a BBL and feel more secure within your body. You cannot, for example, buy 100,000 shillings worth of makeup products, get your hair done and all this. They'll make you feel confident in the second, for the minute or the hour, after that you will have the same issues again. So be mindful of what you're doing that's making you have low self-esteem. Like I ask a lot of my friends as well, when they're like, Kushali, can you go out without makeup? And I say yes. And they're like, they simply cannot. And I tell them, I only wear makeup for certain factors. Otherwise, I just use like filters, like, on like Snapchat or something. I'm addicted to filters. So if you see me face to face, I wouldn't really worry about what my face looks like. I would worry what my body looks like, but not my face. But then when I go on TikTok and, I have those filters that are making me look a bit chiseled. And I always have them. If you see my TikTok, it's always filters. None of them without filters. That's me acknowledging that while I can go out with a bare face, like no makeup, no nothing, social media matters more to me. So that's me being self-aware. That's me being, I'm going to work on it. But before, I would never go out with a bare face of makeup. So you have to take that little win. Yeah. So self-affirmations, positive talk. Journaling. Being mindful. If you go and take yourself out for a walk, what's the worst that can happen? And people are scared to be alone with their thoughts. That's why psychologists really push mindful techniques, because we need to stop being scared. We need to stop being scared of our thoughts.
But our thoughts are they're really hurtful, and they can drive us to do crazy things.
Of course, but how would you change that if you don't identify it?
Okay, there's the aspect of, I'm aware that I'm having these thoughts and I want to change them. But when a person comes to that you're just alone with your thoughts, okay, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm like this, and I'm not comfortable with this. And if you find the person is not like willing to go full out to try and change those qualities or just help yourself, it can be really hurtful. You just find yourself depressed most of the times, being alone with your thoughts.
If you do feel like that, one, I would tell you therapy. They guide your thoughts. They do help you guide your thoughts. That's what therapists do. We don't tell you what to do and what not to do. So for example, if I was dealing with a client with low self-esteem, I wouldn't 100% say, just change this, this, and this, and you'll be fine. Because then self-esteem will show up in another way. Low self-esteem will show up in another way. If you find it really difficult after trying yourself to reduce these negative thoughts, this low self-esteem, then do see someone who's experienced in helping you with your self-esteem. Reach out to friends. Like if you think they have high self-esteem, talk to them. And then you'll actually see that their self-esteem is not as high as you think it is.
Most of the times.
Yeah, because right now I could sit here so confidently, but inside me, I think there's like 100 like rabbits just running in my stomach, Yeah.
As we were talking before, you were saying like we usually mask our emotions. Yes, you are here talking, I'm confident, I love myself, but deep down, when curtains are closed, you are alone with yourself and you feel like screaming.
Yep. Yeah. Rihanna said, fake it.
Yeah, that's what she said. Fake it and act confident if you feel like you are low sometimes.
Yeah. And then work out. But the thing is, when I tell my clients as well, just put yourself in that situation. Even my psychiatrist used to tell me, fake it, but then don't ignore those emotions. You can fake it and be like, okay, I'm going to act like this, and I'm going to act all like, I'm confident, nothing can touch me. That's good. Yeah. Go ahead. But also then go to therapy and figure out why you need to act and why it's not a normal thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say do it and then not reflect on why you're doing it, because that's unhealthy. That will become toxic, right? If you're just doing it without looking at why you have to fake it and why it doesn't come naturally.
Yeah, why it doesn't come. Actually, I think many of us have to go to therapy, and I'm also in therapy, and it's helping me. And I feel like you don't have to go to therapy because you are depressed. Like it's just a check-in. With yourself, like how you usually go to your doctor whenever you just feel a headache. Just when you just feel odd, or when you just want to go and have a mental checkup. It's healthy. It doesn't mean that you're crazy or you're going to have schizophrenia in a while. But just it's something that should be cultivated more, and people should stop the stigma around it, because I feel like we're all working with problems. I've never found anyone without any problem that needs to be solved. So whoever you are, whatever you are, I feel like that you should embrace therapy. You should embrace the thought of, okay, mental health is key to me, and mental health will help me get to that abundant mindset. As we have talked about low self-esteem, inferiority complex, and that fear of lacking, that maybe you don't have enough resources, such things. And I feel like the basis is always on our mind, mental health. That's what will keep you running, and that's what will help you get to an abundant mindset. Shifting it, and by the way, I've not talked about how, okay, yes, we've talked about it, shifting to an abundant mindset. People usually get those 2 little steps that, okay, do this to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Yeah, as we wrap up the show, can you just tell us 3 key things that we can do?
Well, I can tell you 3 key things that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's sure.
Haven't really specialized in abundance mentality, but I know the basics.
Yeah, the basics.
For me, the one thing I'm doing is every time I feel like I'm ungrateful, or I sense myself being a bit ungrateful, I just take myself back for a moment. Would I have gotten to where I am without this? That's one thing.
That's one thing.
The second thing is every day wake up and say 6 things you're grateful for.
6 things.
Every day, 6 things. It has to be 6. It can't be 7, it can't be 5. 6 things. And they have to be different every day. Every day, find 6 things to be grateful for. And then, this is a bit negative, but you can always have the third one being, think about what you have that other people don't have.
Okay.
My psychiatrist explained this in a way that, Bill Gates is a billionaire, but he doesn't have a love. Didn't he divorce his wife? He's a billionaire. I think he's not with his wife anymore, but he's a billionaire.
Yeah, and he's lacking one aspect of...
That's really important.
Yeah, it's love. It's really important.
It's really important. The thing is, society has made us feel like there's so much pressure to do things a certain way. You don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. You don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. When I used to go for these, I used to go with my mom just to give books to kids. They used to be so happy. And I at that point in my life, I used to be like, why am I not this happy even though I have more? I have more opportunities than they do, but they're so happy just receiving a book.
You're grateful.
Yeah. And that's when I decided I need to be more appreciative. Abundance is also largely related with religion. There's a lot of studies out there that kind of show that, religion helps you.
Yes.
It does. But it also creates this sense of, if you lose faith, then everything is going downhill. So
okay, is it religion or is it your spirituality that helps?
I think it's your faith in whatever you have faith in.
Whatever you
have faith in. I'm not very religious. At one point, I did believe in energy. I was a high believer to the point that I had crystals. I was working.
The crystal ball.
Yeah, no, not the balls.
The balls.
You know how you have rose quartz, clear quartz. Yeah. And I just found that people having faith is very good for them to be able to be grateful, because religion teaches, whether it's Islam, it's Christianity, it's Protestantism. Hey, well, you know what I mean. Whether it's being a Catholic, whether it's being, a Buddhist, everything, and one thing that is common in all religious scripture is you must be grateful for whatever that certain God gives you.
And you feel like if you're grateful, you'll actually get more.
Yeah, because I can't really advocate for religion, but yeah, I do see it being taught.
About the faith, not the religion. I usually feel like, I don't know if people agree with me, but religion and spirituality, I know it's connected because religion is all about the church you go to. I feel like spirituality is that faith, that energy, as you said, that energy towards the God you're serving.
Yeah.
And I usually feel like prayer itself is energy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to, do you listen to Bob Proctor? Did you used to listen to him?
No, but I do know people who say that praying is meditation.
Yeah, so Bob Proctor usually talks about spiritual energy and how you can use it to manifest the life you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're really in tune with your spirituality and abundance, you can go check him out. Actually, I'm learning from him.
Yeah.
He has like from the 1970s.
Yeah.
I've just taken those tapes, like I'm listening from
Mm-hmm.
episode 1, episode 2, because they're really educative.
Yeah.
And you'll get to learn more on what we're talking about, because it's talking about the mind and how you can manipulate your subconscious mind to work for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all on it that I can say.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that I've left on the topic about scarcity mentality that you want to talk about?
No, I think we've pretty much covered.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have covered what was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is just a personal thing, but low self-esteem is the reason all of this happens.
Yeah. It's the base. Low self-esteem
is the base.
Yeah. So your parting shot to our audience today?
I would just say you aren't alone. A lot of people with mental health problems feel like they're alone. A lot of people that go through daily struggles think that they don't have mental health problems, but you aren't alone. There's, I think, 1 in every 2 people with anxiety, 1 in every 3 with depression, 1 in every 7 or 8 with like BPD, bipolar. So everyone goes through mental health problems. But if you see that your mental health is really affecting your lifestyle, I would seek out professional help.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, my psychiatrist always tells me it's never that serious.
It's never that serious.
But it is. It is. She says it to me as a joke. I promise. She says it to me as a joke. But she always says, like, if you feel like you're a bit stressed out, always do 3 things. First, take a moment to yourself, because you'll never act properly if you're stressed out. If you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're in love, or if you're, you've been cheated on and you're angry, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever emotions you have, and if they're negative, take a step back alone. Notice where those feelings are coming from. For example, let's just say this person did something to me. Why is it affecting you this much? Think about that. And then say, what in me is allowing these feelings? Is it my boundaries being too porous? Is it me not standing up for myself? Has this happened multiple times? So there's 3 things you need to do. Take a step back, reflect on how you're feeling, and then investigate where these feelings are coming from. And if you do need help, again, therapy.
Yeah,
that's my parting shot, yeah.
And where can people get you, access you on your social media? Since you are a therapist and I bet you're a good one, some people out there may need your help and might need to get to you.
So we have a website. It's just KMV, mentalhealthservices.com. That's our website. Our Instagram is just KMVMHS, and then the same for our LinkedIn, our Twitter, our Facebook. If you just search up KMV Mental Health Services, it should kind of all show up. But our website is where we like people to see all our services, charges and everything. And plus, if you just find my Instagram and you just want to talk to someone, you can just send me a text. Yes. I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, she's more than happy to help. And that's it for today, for this episode, for the first episode of the year, guys. And I've really enjoyed it and I've really learned, especially on the body dysmorphia on the male species. Actually, that was something that it has come new to me, and I'll actually follow up to it and take men's mental health more seriously and stop being, this toxic femininity. So and care more about the male species and what they think and what they value and what they have to say, in short. And this is it from me, your host, and a big thumbs up for the Slumidia Production. They're doing all this production for me, the Stay Grayy podcast, and you can also reach them on their social media platform, which will be here down below, so that you can get in touch with them and get their services. They're really good. So see you in the next episode. Bye.